Hey, honey, do you feel like your parents might not like me?
Do they make you uncomfortable?
Well, a little. Sorry, I didn't mean to make things complicated.
That's okay. I guess I could say that they are complicated.
What do you mean?
We could end the vacation early and fly back.
But this is your parents we're talking about. I want to be able to get along with them.
Listen, honey, I didn't spend much time with them as a child. I was abroad for most of my life, and I just feel like they could be too much sometimes.
Matt, is there anything you want to tell me?
Nothing in particular.
Why are you acting so weird? Sweetheart, what are you talking about?
Nothing, Mom. We were just heading down for dinner.
Alright, we're waiting.
Let's go. I'll explain later, alright?
My name is Nora, and I had been with my fiance, Matt, for 2 years. We had an amazing relationship filled with love, laughter, and adventure. Since his family was abroad, I had never met them in person before. So when he suggested that we visit his hometown for a few weeks, I was excited to finally meet them. We arrived at Matt's hometown, and I was instantly taken aback by its beauty. The streets were lined with colorful buildings, and the air was filled with the sweet aroma of freshly baked bread. When I arrived, I was surprised to find out that Matt's family was filthy rich. I didn't even know what their occupations were. I just heard that they were businessmen. My fiance didn't want to stay for long, but he never explained why. I tried asking him about it, but he always brushed it off and changed the subject. During the first few days, I kept feeling like Matt's family didn't like me, but I couldn't figure out why. They were always polite, but there was something in their tone that made me feel uneasy. I tried my best to shrug it off and enjoy our time together, but it was hard to ignore. Every time I wanted to talk to Matt about it, something would happen and interrupt us. Hey, honey, do you feel like your parents might not like me?
Do they make you feel uncomfortable?
Well, a little. Sorry, I didn't mean to make things complicated.
That's okay. I guess I could say that they are complicated.
What do you mean?
We could end the vacation early and fly back.
But this is your parents we're talking about. I want to be able to get along with them.
Listen, honey, I didn't spend much time with them as a child. I was abroad for most of my life, and I just feel like they could be too much sometimes.
Matt, is there anything you want to tell me?
Nothing in particular.
Why are you acting so weird? Sweetheart, what are you talking about?
Nothing, Mom. We were just heading down for dinner.
Alright, we're waiting.
Let's go. I'll explain later, alright?
On the third day of our stay, Matt's parents said that they wanted to go on a hiking trip. I was excited to explore the beautiful scenery, but I could tell that Matt was hesitant. I tried to convince him. I had always loved outdoor activities, and I was hoping that I could get along better with them too. Seeing how thrilled I was, Matt finally said yes. Unexpectedly, just a few hours before our hiking trip, Matt's parents said that there was a business emergency and they needed Matt to stay home and go to a business dinner on their behalf. Matt was reluctant, but he couldn't find a reason to disagree. I could see the disappointment on his face, but there was nothing we could do. Matt turned to me and apologized. He explained that he wanted me to spend time with his parents like I wanted to, but there was one thing that he insisted on. He needed me to take his backpack instead of mine. He did the packing for it and was sure that it has everything I needed. He even went as far as telling me to always keep the backpack with me. I thought he was just overthinking, but it was really cute that he cared for me that much. Then, a limousine arrived at our place to pick Matt up. Matt's parents turned to tell me that their business partner was so great that they arranged a whole limousine just to make sure Matt was escorted safely and with the best service. I looked out to watch how Matt got into the limousine. However, I was taken aback to spot a long trail of someone's dress as soon as Matt opened the door. He seemed deeply surprised and he turned around to look at his parents. Nobody said anything for a few seconds. I thought that something was off. Was there a woman dressed up in a beautiful dress in that limousine? I couldn't get a closer look because Matt soon got on and closed the door. Matt's parents gave me a reassuring look, but I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was strange. Luckily, I got a text from Matt as soon as the limousine started moving. "I'll be done with this dinner in 2 hours. Text me when you get to the mountain, babe. Call me whenever you want. I hope you'll have so much fun. I'll miss you so much."
Aw, I'll miss you too. Good luck, babe. I really did have fun on the first day. Matt's parents were much nicer to me for some reason. I thought I was making progress in the relationship with them. We went sightseeing, tried local foods, and even went to a museum. I was happy that we were finally getting along. That night, Matt's dad suggested that we should take the shortcut. I was really hesitant, as something in my gut told me that I shouldn't listen to him. I had heard stories about the dangers of taking shortcuts in unfamiliar places. But Matt's dad was insistent, and I didn't want to seem rude or ungrateful. After all, I was still trying to win them over. So we agreed to take the shortcut. As we walked, I could feel my anxiety growing. The path was narrow and overgrown, and I was worried that we might get lost. Matt's parents, however, seemed to be enjoying the walk. They were chatting and laughing, and I tried my best to keep up. I was so scared as the tension built up in my chest. We never made it to a well-lit and well-marked path that afternoon. Then, when the night came up, we had to camp in the middle of nowhere and use tents to keep ourselves safe. Matt's parents were experienced campers, so they quickly set up the tents while I gathered some firewood. As the night wore on, I started to feel uneasy. Matt's parents were acting strange. They kept whispering to each other and looked around nervously. I tried to ignore it, but I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was wrong. Then Matt's parents gave me some water to drink, but my gut feeling was telling me not to take anything from them. I thought I was being paranoid, but for some reason the anxiety in my chest was at an all-time high. Matt's parents insisted on me drinking it in front of them to make sure I was hydrated. I took a very small sip, but puffed my cheek and used my hands to cover the bottle, pretending that I took a big sip. Then I quickly got back into my tent. I started feeling unwell, as if there was something inside the drinks my in-laws gave me. My head was pounding and my vision was blurry. I felt like I was going to be sick, and I stumbled as I tried to get to my blankets. Suddenly, a thought occurred to me. What if there was something inside that water? Would I die? Would they throw the bottle away and pretend it that never happened?
I poured a bit of that drink into an empty bottle and hid it inside my bag, thinking that I might need it as evidence later on. I could feel myself slowly passing out. I thought I was going to die. I tried my best to go through the belongings in my bag, hoping to find something that could help me. There was no service on the mountain, so my phone was useless. Then I found a strange device hidden at the bottom of my bag. I didn't know what it was, and I couldn't have the time to figure anything out. I just saw a red button on it, and without even thinking straight, I took a leap of faith and pressed the button. Then I felt my body light. I knew what was happening. I blacked out completely. When I opened my eyes, I was in a hospital with Matt by my side. I felt like I had just been rescued from the brink of death. Matt, is that you?
Oh God, hey there, sleepyhead. You gave me quite a scare.
What happened? Why am I in the hospital?
Honey, a lot has happened. I just don't want to overwhelm you yet. You passed out in the mountains.
Yeah, I do remember that.
But don't worry, everything's okay now. You're safe.
Thank goodness. And you're okay too?
Yeah, I'm fine. I've been here the whole time, waiting for you to wake up.
I am so glad you're here. I don't know what I would do without you.
You don't have to worry about that. I'm not going anywhere.
Good, because I need you.
I'm right here for you.
As I slowly calmed my nerves, I started asking Matt more and more questions. It was then that I finally found out what really happened. The truth was so much more terrifying than I could ever have imagined. Turned out that Matt's parents had always wanted him to stay in the country and marry a wealthy woman so that he could inherit the family's business. That was why they hated me, and the business dinner was actually a date they set up for Matt and another woman. They resented me for stealing him away from them, so much so that they drugged me and planned to leave me alone in the wild. I was supposed to be unconscious or having illusions for the next day or two. I could have lost my life. I felt betrayed and hurt. How could they do this to me? How could they do this to us? What had I done to deserve their hatred? All the memories we had shared together suddenly felt tainted. The dinners, the laughs, the conversations. Had it all been a fake show of affection? My mind raced with questions and doubts. How could I trust anyone again? How could I not see their true intentions before? But most of all, my heart ached for Matt. He had always been caught in the middle of our family's differences, and now he had to deal with the reality that his own parents didn't want him to be happy. I knew we had to confront them, but the thought of seeing them again filled me with dread. How could I face them after knowing what they had done? As I looked at Matt, I saw the pain in his eyes too. I remembered all the times when he refused to stay too long at home, or when he told me that he just wants to settle in the States with me instead of going home. I thought about the ways Matt spoke about the strained relationship he had with his parents and wondered why I hadn't seen this coming earlier. I could feel tears running down my cheeks, and Matt's gentle gestures as he wiped them away. Suddenly, a thought occurred to me. How did Matt get me out of there? I had passed out, and Matt's parents had probably taken off the moment the sun rose on the mountain. Matt, you put a tracking device in the backpack, didn't you? He looked at me and slowly nodded his head. I could see how sad he was, admitting to having expected his own parents' crime. It was crazy, but it was true. That strange object that I found when I almost passed out was actually what had saved my life. Matt knew his parents enough to attach a tracking device with me, and as soon as he saw that we were heading in a different direction, he alarmed the rescue team. And the moment I pressed that red button, it sent out an SOS sign to them. It helped them reach me faster and more easily. Thanks to the sample of the drink I kept in my bag, we were able to prove that Matt's parents had been trying to drug me and leave me to die in the mountains. They were arrested and forced to forfeit their properties. It was a shock to everyone, but it was a relief to finally know the truth. Matt was devastated by the whole incident, but he remained strong for both of us. He made the decision to donate a large part of his inheritance to charity, saying that he didn't want any part of their tainted money. We flew back to the US and started a new life together. It wasn't easy, but we were determined to make it work. We found a small apartment and I started working as a copywriter. Matt took odd jobs to make ends meet, but he never complained. I never thought I'd be able to trust anyone again after his parents' betrayal, but he proved me wrong. He was my rock, my support, my everything. We started making so many more new friends along the way, and they became our new family. It's been a few years since that fateful day, and we have come a long way. We have built a life together full of love, trust, and honesty. We don't talk to Matt's parents anymore, but we have found a new family in each other. Looking back, I'm grateful for the experience. It taught me that even in the darkest moments, there is always hope. And I knew that as long as we had each other, we could conquer anything life threw our way.